Now, our next item.
We looked at the remarks that he was given, coming from the only tertiary institution, college, that participated among 75 universities in Africa. They said this: a very eloquent speaker, articulate with his words, has direction, could be the next president. This is what they said. Mugambi ended up doing us so proud by being the 4th best oralist in English, and Makerere Kando, all those others, he was the best in East and Central Africa. What better person to give his view of this institution than somebody who has not only represented us here, but outside the country. Peter, karibu.
Thank you, Madam Registrar. Ladies and gentlemen, Madam Gadesha, an extraordinary human being with whom I have had the privilege of working with for the last 2 years. Ladies and gentlemen, Madam Gadoni Gadesha. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow students, giving praise and honor to God for bringing us here today. Thank you so much. We are so grateful to see all of you here today. To be given this honorable opportunity to represent the entire student body here today is a very humbling experience. To the entire Faculty of Law, Kenya School of Professional Studies, my tutors, words cannot describe the gratitude that we have for all the opportunities, guidance, counseling and education that you have given us, sharpening us into distinguished leaders of the country. KSPS, as we fondly call our school, realizes that life is not all about books, but more of the refining into better citizens, which has been the main focus of the faculty. College is part of the learning experience that we have before we are thrown into the wide corporate world, and the fundamentals of this stage remain with us and shape our thinking for the rest of our lives. We have all made this journey for a reason. It is a humbling experience to see a gathering like this. But in our hearts, we know that you didn't just come here for the launch. You came here because you believe in what KSPS has become. We are ambassadors, not only now for Inoorero University, but for Kenya as well. Over the last few years, I have grown to have a focused outlook. I have learned that I am so much more than the differences that characterize me with others. With the privilege of participating in the 18th African Human Rights Motor Competition in Lagos, Nigeria last August, I learned that as young Africans, we represent the hope and the future of our nations. It is a view that Nelson Mandela spoke of in 1995 when he described the first African human rights motor competition participants as the leaders, judges, and teachers of tomorrow. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are all here. We stand here in full representation of the student spirit, and I know that we are united in purpose to further the agenda of education through this official launch. In doing so, ladies and gentlemen, we should draw inspiration from some lawyers and other historical icons who rose to the challenges of their time and used their circumstances and positions to better the lives of those around them. Mahatma Mohandas Gandhi, F.W. de Klerk, Nelson Mandela, Barack Obama, Professor Wangari Maathai, and I'm sure the list could go on and on. To the rest of the world at various universities, from Oxford to Delhi to the shores of the Red Sea to Université de Chad, a university from a small town in Chad, now made the world famous over by the dramatic story of the Chadian children and the French nurses. You are all getting an education and not just a degree. So too, when you come to Inoorero, you will not only come to get an education, but an opportunity to exchange ideas, test arguments, deepen your understanding, change your mind, raise your bar of tolerance, and generally have a fulfilling and promising time. Last but not least, without prejudice, ladies and gentlemen. I quote words from His Excellency, Honorable, the former President of Zambia, Kenneth Kaunda, in his book, Letter to My Children. He wrote that, without prejudice, to the lady who sits opposite to you at lunchtime, to the young man who keeps you company at the mall on weekends, to the stranger who shares your meal, know this, that it is better to be an excellent housewife rather than a mediocre doctor, an excellent parent rather than an incompetent cabinet minister, an excellent carpenter rather than a successful but crooked businessman. Ladies and gentlemen, I have no doubt that a new dawn of education is at hand. Thank you, God bless you, and may God bless Inoorero University.